Alright, so we're interviewing Jake Stein for Gut Fox's channel. I think you can put a fox over my face so that way I don't get in trouble. Alright, so we're going to ask this first. Did the MUT blog reveal everything that will be in the next game? Or do you guys have some tricks up your sleeves?
I think we still got some tricks up our sleeves. We were excited to sort of lead with the information with Madden 19 this year. You know, last year it was kind of like a 180. We were kind of like fighting, like, can we please go to EA Play to talk about Ultimate Team? This year it's the complete opposite. Like, not only can you talk about it, you're going to lead off with it. So we were definitely forthcoming with a lot of the major beats that are coming. But for somebody like Gut Fox and the people that follow Gut Fox and want that extra little, you know, extra tidbits of information, yeah, there's still more to come.
Okay. Why do you think people complain about the lack of content in Madden 18?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? Because on our side, we felt like we certainly weren't light with our work schedule on a weekly basis. Everybody was still working crazy hours, trying to put out a ton of content, putting out something every day. I think, sort of to summarize everything, we saw that, you know, putting out more players felt like more content to the users. So going into Madden 19, I think some of the plans that we're talking about is to have more of a regular player drop basis, right? So something like Team of the Week may not be a full team this year, and instead we're going to use those extra players that we were spending time creating, maybe in some other areas instead.
All right. Question number 3. Why bring competitive solos to MUT 19? Won't full game solos be boring after a couple of weeks? Why not focus on more time to bringing longer solo strings like Journeyman?
Well, I think you can still have a little bit of both, right? So I think we're building solo battles in the right way. We have a lot of tools that are going to automate that process for us. So that whole, you know, I've listened to a lot of the feedback, and Gut Fox's video especially, right? And we have done something in the past where we've played solos against other teams in the community, but that was still a manual effort from MUT producers and content creators to build out that team. We have tools in place this year where it's going to automatically grab teams and put them into that system this year. So it's going to be a much more streamlined process. And with that said, I think that you will start to see more elongated sequences and strings of solos. We have a lot of things planned for launch, and we're talking about how do we continue that on beyond launch. So I still think that there's a chance that you're going to see both.
All right, awesome. August 2nd should be dope. All right. How big will the chemistry boost get in 19 if we have 50 players going towards chemistry? We see more +5 stats.
You know, there's a chance there. You know, that we're still in that tuning phase right now, and it's interesting because you're going to have more chemistries, you know, options this year. And when you're doing something like handing that over and giving that sort of selection to the players, you know, it's probably fair to say that we might lean a little on the conservative side at launch just to make sure that we're not doing anything. It's easier for us to sort of expand than to reel back. So, you know, we'll see how it goes, but I think things like physical chemistries are going to be a big game changer this year. You're going to have the ability to start putting chemistries that are going to boost things like speed, acceleration, strength, and those are going to be huge, right? So we have to see how that system's going to play and how the community is going to react. Again, we did not play conservative this year. We want to do something big and bold. So it's up to us to monitor that and make sure that it's balanced and we're not breaking anything. So we'll see where that goes for launch.
Okay, awesome. Why did you guys decide to double down on power-ups instead of ditching the system altogether?
What a Gut Fox question this is. For me, I think we saw people who were engaging with it and they liked the concept of power-ups, but they had issues with it. And so rather than ditching it, I wanted to attack the issues that players were having. So the ability to go backwards, to be able to choose your chemistry, which is actually something that people weren't even necessarily asking for. I thought that if we're going to bring that back and sort of improve on what was already there and make it better, I think that there's a lot of success still to be had with power-ups this year. So we're excited to deliver it. We're going to obviously continue listening to feedback, but you know, the feedback that we've heard all along is like, this is a really great compromise and we appreciate you guys for listening to us.
Yeah, I'm glad you did it as well. It should be a lot of fun next year. We kind of expensive to build teams, but we'll see how that plays out when the season starts. No, part 2 to that question. Doors to that. What are you going to do about limited time cards and master cards and power-ups? Like last year, obviously, we couldn't power up early on Odell Beckham to Lil Mac, but then that changed towards the end.
So what was great is a couple weeks ago, I probably couldn't answer this question as forthcoming as I would want to, but we have put the work in, and something that will be there for launch is in the cases like that where if a limited comes out or if a master comes out, you're going to have that option to either put that specific player in or you can use a training point equivalent for there. So by definition, limiteds last year, there was only going to be so many of them out there. If we were to require that, we were going to be blocking people from making further progress on there. This year, we're excited to give players the option to go one way or the other.
That's huge. That is awesome. So now everybody can get the best car without having to, I guess, pull packs with it, essentially. They can just use their training points for stuff they got. That'd be awesome. All right, awesome. Cool. Will every player in the game have a power-up card associated with them?
So not everyone will have a power-up. You know, there's probably more players this year, at least as many as last year, that are going to have a power-up. But I think the big difference is there's going to be so many that are upgradable, and those are not the same thing, right? So for those, basically gold and up, we're thinking you're at least going to have the ability to upgrade once and unlock that scheme chemistry slot. So in a way, those players are considered upgradable. You will have to spend training to unlock that, and then you will be able to go and choose your chemistry for that. Now, we heard some feedback early on as we were showing this to some game changers and some people who were able to come in and give us feedback. One of the things that they said was, does that mean you guys are you charging for chemistry now? And we heard that. So what we're doing is, in the balanced offense and balanced defense, that will come already, it's there. It's owned for you. You can choose to equip it if you want to, but to me, the ability to have the choice was something that was going to outweigh that perception of, are they trying to charge us for chemistry? So hopefully the fans feel the same way. Again, we're excited to bring that.
Awesome. How are you going to prevent botting in squad solos? Because the solo's going to be repeated over and over. Will there be an issue with bots this year like there were last year?
Yeah, well, we definitely have a security team, right? And that obviously became a problem last year. Before coming out here, I made sure to talk with that team, make sure we have a good plan in place. We feel like we do. And a big thing for us last year was, once we went to seasons, you started to see a lot less of a trend in that area. The incentive wasn't quite there because we had divisions and whatnot. So the thing for squads challenges, which is the squads versus CPU, is there's going to be a big incentive to complete those the one time. And there's a repeatable coin reward, but it's going to be more modest. It's going to be really about, hey, go in there, knock these out, and if you want to keep playing and having fun, cool. But we don't feel like it's going to be worth for players who want to try to exploit that to stay in there and ruin everybody else's experience, right?
I got you. Okay, cool. Is the PC marketplace going to be monitored more carefully? It seems like more of a place to be destroyed within a month or two after launch with bots and potentially hackers.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I just mentioned the security team. They're definitely trying to step up to the plate, get ready to support that PC environment. We know that's a thing. We know that PC brings some extra challenges in that specific space. So I understand the question. Again, it's one of those things that we feel like we're ready for it. We have the right monitoring in place, and we look forward to making that as secure as possible.
Awesome. All right, this is more of a bleep hole type question. Will draft champions be updated more than twice this Madden season?
It will. We have gone through I'd say one of the biggest differences from last year. We took kind of that first step last year with trying to plan and know exactly what we're going to do as the year goes on. We took that a step further this year. We started that planning even earlier. So we have factored into our kind of capacity that we will be supporting regular cadence updates to MUT Draft this year.
Awesome. That's all I got. That was Jake Stein. Thank you, Fox, for the questions. Thank you, Gut Fox subscribers, for viewing here in the Gut Fox channel. I guess if you have more questions, we might get back on the podcast sometime in the next couple of months.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
I've heard about something that I want to ask you about.
All right.
Hack animation. How we had fire one year. This year we had like a screen shake. Or last year. This year.
The reveals are hot, man. The reveals are hot. So I mean, we heard the feedback last year when that first sort of footage for Madden 18 came out, and people were like, "It's great that they brought the borders back. I love that the Legends have the blue border, but man, why is it still flashing red?" So we heard that. I think we're absolutely blowing it out of the water. Stay tuned, man. I think it's gonna be awesome. We're really excited about that.
I'm using that for my channel, Gut Fox, so you can fall back. Shush.
How we out?
Lol, Vic. I never edit backwards, so I can't take it out now. Sorry, the moment's passed. But a big shout out to Texas and Vic for getting that footage of Jake. Check out their channels in the description. I appreciate their work out at EA Play as the field reporters. Let us know in the comments what other questions you want asked of him for a podcast, maybe in a month or two. But let me ask field reporter Tex one more question. What would happen if you power up one more quarterback in MUT 18?
They'll fucking kill me.